Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing K-1 fiancé visas. Specifically, we're discussing the topic of medical examinations. I do a video on this about once a year, just kind of go back over, just kind of remind people how this kind of works. But yeah, toward the end of the process, when you're getting into what's called the consular processing phase of the K-1 visa process, basically where you're dealing with the embassy, the interview, etc., there comes a point where there is a medical exam associated with the K-1 fiancé visa. It is generally undertaken by what's called a civil surgeon here in Thailand. Those folks are generally essentially certified by the U.S. Embassy here in Bangkok. And the folks, they basically give a pretty thorough exam. There can be, medical exams can result in delays in cases. For example, folks that are diagnosed with having previously had, for example, tuberculosis. This can dramatically slow down processing of the overall case because you've got to deal with extra documentation associated with proving up a sort of non-contagiousness of that particular individual. So there's a number of things that kind of factor in with respect to medical exams. We certainly assist a lot of clients in dealing with the medical exam, dealing with the paperwork associated with the medical exam. The nice thing these days, a lot of this has been digitized, but still there's a paperwork component to all of this. And then once the medical exam is done, oftentimes it needs to be presented at the embassy interview, and it has to be examined by the interviewing consular officer before a K-1 visa will be issued. In some cases, again, where further documentation is needed, it may delay the actual performance of the interview because they don't want to do the interview until they have information about the medical records of a given applicant. So the thing to take away from this video, it is a component. It's not a component that comes up immediately in the K-1 visa process. It generally arises in the latter half and even in sort of the latter half of the K-1 visa process. But yeah, it's definitely a major component. It has to be dealt with, and there are times when it can actually delay the process.